And welcome everybody to another episode of the Compassionate Citizens, which was started a couple of years ago, which was inspired out of somebody inspired from the Compassionate Citizens project that is down in Chicago, Illinois. Run by Norland Dimmitt, or that he's a part of that. And so our main thing, her show here is talking about compassion. And I am joined by Jennifer A. Whitaker, who is somebody we are working with on her podcast that she also on her 6 podcasts that she has. So I think Jeff, I'm gonna pass over to you.
Thank you, Emily. Welcome everybody, as she said, to another episode of Compassionate Citizen. Today on Compassionate Citizen, I'd like to share times when those of us who are decision makers can sometimes have a temptation to be a little too compassionate to where we kind of jip ourselves or rip ourselves off. For example, I didn't realize how detrimental it was to share a business secret because of how much I trusted certain clients back when I had my tutoring company. And I had a school that wanted our tutoring, and we had difficulties with them paying us. But because of how great they thought our services were, that's why they insisted that we keep tutoring their students while they worked out how to pay us. That I eventually had to do away with business. I had to terminate the contract and just not serve them anymore, giving them so many months to pay up what they owed us, instead of basically paying my staff to do the tutoring to not be paid myself and me digging myself as the owner in the hole. And when the time came around and a collection company had my back and got the school to pay me, then we had even more issues, because I tried to do the sales pitch and get that school back on board with us now that we were paid, and have them sign an official contract stating that they will take responsibility on the financial end to always pay on time or get late fees. And apparently by then, without knowing it, they had a new principal or some other high up person. It was a private school, so I don't know if they consider it principal, but the person who was over that high school decided that he was going to inquire with me about how do we make our services so great. And I told him how we made a educational plan on what we would go over with that specific student based on an assessment that was their specific weaknesses. And he asked me, so how do you figure out their weaknesses? So I told him. And then he asked me, so how do you know what's their weakness if, say, they're in high school and math is where they underperform? And I gave him an example of looking at the work of someone in algebra 1 or 2, that if I see in their work where they're breaking down each step by step that they didn't add numbers together, that we'd work on addition, because that's really the root of why that high school kid's struggling. Anyways, rushing forward. So I had a little bit too much trust in this guy returning to our services because of how great and grand the prior principal thought we were, until eventually I find out that he used my business secret and trained teachers how to do what our tutoring service was doing. And this was one of the things that hurt our business before the pandemic and other things in history that affected at least the country, if not the world, economically. Well, this linking to compassion is that sometimes we get so compassionate about what we do and so driven to show that we care about the client in order to want to do business with them because of whatever's our service or our product, and how much faith we have that it will make someone's life better or more enjoyable or something of that nature. However, sometimes our compassion can be too strong and drive us in the hole. And so here on Compassionate Citizens, I like to hit both sides. There's the time for we're not compassionate enough, such as judging someone with a disability or not understanding them. And then there's times like what I said with my business story, that we can be too compassionate and end up hurting ourselves or someone else because we cared too much in a way that basically slaps us in the face. So compassion is something that you can lack and not have enough of, but it can also be something that you have too much of. So it's a need of there being some kind of medium, some kind of balance of the right amount of compassion, but to also know when you hit that max and you need to just back out of the situation. And I had a similar experience in the last 30 minutes with someone who, like that guy at that school, the new principal, was trying to uncover the details of, in this case, why my publishing is so great and worth working with. And I got frustrated with her and she got frustrated with me. And personally, I thought the lady came in a bad mood already. And then she was trying to uncover these secrets about my publishing company, like the story I told you of a school in the past when I had a tutoring company. And I admit, she thought I was rude, but we can't please everybody. And personally, I thought she was rude. So that's, and again, there's a we, none of us can please everybody. We're always going to have those certain people that support us and the other people that may be jealous or other reasons don't like us. But we're in a world that is not perfect. And sometimes showing compassion can be a way to forgive people that have done us wrong, like what I should for even myself for letting that school uncover my secret and being too trusting of them, or to forgive a lady I spoke with earlier today that was trying to uncover my secrets of this company. But I also need to stand up for what is right in different situations, which with my business, that was keeping my secret, my business secret, a secret. But I admit, for those of you who are business owners or who do sales or other jobs where you're interacting with the public that wants to know what's so grand and great about what you do, that it can be very difficult to not uncover the secret, because especially if you're based on commission, you're driven to get more and more people on board. But we have to, in business, while being compassionate about whatever's our mission to achieve in our certain type business, to draw the line in compassion and how compassionate we get with the potential business partners or clients or staff or whoever else, and how much we disclose to them. If we disclose too much, then you could end up in a hole like what your tutoring company did. On the other hand, there's companies like Google and Amazon that haven't even disclosed their secret to any of their employees, and they practically conquer the world now. With Amazon, at least in the US, being the #1 online retailer and Google being the #1 search engine, with the only one that's on top of that is also owned by Google, which is YouTube, that's the top search engine of all time. And all kinds of searches, whether it's educational or entertainment or anything. But it's then again, both of them are by Google, so still the Google that has a lead, whether it's through YouTube or the Google search engine. And those are the people that don't disclose any of their secrets, even to their staff, but they have found tactics to disclose each person's specific role and what to do. But they take this big puzzle that's their secret and they break it into tiny pieces, and each staff member has a tiny piece. But nobody can actually put it together and see the big picture of the puzzle. And those are other extremes to go. But we all have to build a balance in how much compassion we show between ourselves and on the world around us, and to stay within a safe limit. Because we don't want to cause self-harm, like in my story with my tutoring company, and I never got that business back. We don't want to disclose too much that would harm the good of someone else. We want to be compassionate in a way that we show love, but accept that our compassion, when it's in a safe zone, will not please everybody. There will always be somebody that thinks we could be better at this or better at that, or could have done something but not the other. And none of us can be perfect in reality, but we can always try to get better and to be more compassionate to the degree that it's safe for us, whether it's in our work life safe, it's say in a personal life situation of where if we're in a abusive situation, like let's say an abusive marriage, that we don't go overboard with so much compassion for that abusive person that we leave ourselves in a situation to remain abused. And that's another one in personal life that could be where sometimes some people can get too compassionate because they're trying to understand that person that's abusing them, the spouse or the boyfriend or the girlfriend or whoever, and they let themselves fall victim and remain victim, and to get deeper in the hole of where the victim is going into depression or flight mode, or even into suicide and other things that Project Die Hard deals with, at least in relation to the veterans. But we have to, whether it's personal life stuff like that, or it's the business world, like I was talking about, we have to be balanced in how much compassion we show. So we are showing a good heart and doing good to others, but we're also doing good to ourselves and to care our own concerns, whether it's our business, our job, or our personal life and personal, physical, or mental safety. Emily, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I kind of more or less agree with what you've been saying, and it's very important to practice compassion, because you don't ever really know where the person is coming from or what they're really dealing with. So it's important to topic not to take lightly.
So I think that sometimes people tend to be more compassionate about those around them and sometimes neglect themselves. Like say a mom of a special needs person that spends so much time taking care of her child that she neglects herself, right? Because the child is so needy that, like, let's say, for example, a mother wanted the daughter so happy she bought so much stuff that she didn't even have a budget to spend on her own basics like clothing or underwear, right? So there's instances like that where someone could be doing their own self-harm by being too compassionate for even a family member.
Right. I mean, we could always overdo it and we could always underdo it too, so it's just a matter of getting the right balance, more or less. I mean, nobody's gonna be perfect at always getting the right balance, but
And
think
I
I
think that,
that's what you
I
were
think,
sort of for.
like, I think a part of understanding balance is knowing that we can't please everybody. Like, the conversation I started with about a certain person, I won't disclose on here, but I didn't do well with her, but you did. And there can be other people where um there could be a lot of people over here that get along with a certain somebody, a lot of people over here that get along with this other somebody, but in no way can one person just get along with everybody and not have problems, because none of us are perfect. So that's part of like the compassion of accepting that you're not perfect, right? And that's our part of self-compassion. So you can't please everybody. And neither do you need to be hard on yourself. That isn't, in a way, if you're too hard, it's lacking self-compassion for the good of expecting the impossible. Perfectionist.
Right. Um, um, yeah, so yeah, this is a important topic. All the reasons why we have the show. But
Yeah, I think that this angle I'm coming at today is something that's been needed for a while. So I always talk about showing more compassion. And then there's today trying to say that more isn't always better, right?
right. Yeah, like more isn't always better and less isn't always better. If that makes sense. Like,
Oh yeah, a lot of things in life, even if it's like, say, when we used to have the Jaws Diet Show, and we would talk about the nutritional balance, that you need a little bit of all these nutrients, and not to say always getting a hamburger and fries where you got the protein and the carb and not much else, right? And so just like with food, and when we used to do the Jaws diet, then other things in life are that same concept of you need a little bit of everything and a safe amount without going in overabundance or too little of the amount. Kurt, are you with us?
I'm connected, but I'm not available, so I'm gonna have to leave it to you.
Alrighty then. We'll do the runaway. Do you have anything else to add, Emily?
mhm. Not sure about necessarily about that, but that necessarily, but if anybody is interested in joining us on the show, to please reach out to us. And we're always looking for I guess for the show, along with our other shows that we have, and like the World of Ability and Jen shows that she does. So Jen, would you like to, if you say about your shows and kind of what you do outside of the show?
Well, actually, I was wondering if we can talk about, remember the Monday one, I think it is, that we were talking about Hulu doing and announcing stuff about it to see if anybody might want to hop on board with that one that we need to fill. I think it's Project Die Hard or something. That's a Monday one or something.
I mean, anybody who's looking to bring hope to veterans and helping veterans at all are welcome to join us on the Project Die Hard show on Monday evenings at 6:30 Central.
And they can do that by joining the Jaws Coffee Chat team or joining, I guess it would be Compassionate Citizens, or who would be the other contact? If they want to go directly to you and Kurt.
If they want to be on the show, they can connect with me, Kurt, or Brian. Or maybe you, if you want to connect them with Brian Gibson, who is the president and founder of Project Die Hard, who's the one whose show it is.
Okay, and if you want to connect with the Jaws Coffee Chat team, to come on board in some way related to our writing, editing, publishing, podcasting, and so forth, even movie scripts and TV scripts related to TV production, among others, you can contact us at jawscoffeechat@gmail.com. That's JAWS coffeechat@gmail.com. Or you can text 346-439-8393. And that is my cell phone. Because I, Jennifer A. Whitaker, am the owner of Jaws Coffee Chat, as well as Jen's Books and More. And there you will find Emily, Kurt, and the rest of the gang, who is also part of the Jaws Coffee Chat team, in addition to I myself being part of their team with the Compassionate Citizens. And we are always looking for people to help come on board, especially with the 6:30 Central Time show that's for Project Die Hard, where we're looking for another host to regularly run the show. We're looking for someone that understands veterans, has compassion for veterans, but also understands mental health and possibly a connection of the two. If you believe you are that person that could be the host, we would ask you to contact us at jawscoffeechat@gmail, JAWS coffeechat@gmail.com, or to schedule with myself and Emily at calendly.com/Jen's Books and More. That's CALENDLY.com/JENNS Books and More. Anything else from you, Emily?
If anybody wants to contact me, I can connect with me through podcast engineer54@gmail.com. It's podcast engineer54@gmail.com. Or through LinkedIn and Facebook. Or I can connect with Kurt as well. At 262-372-1754. Anything else you'd like to talk about? Any of your shows in particular, Jen, or just anything else in general?
Well, if you're interested in who I am, you can look up Jennifer A. Whitaker, and that's with one T in Whitaker. And if you're interested in learning more about my business, you can go to jensbooksandmore.com, JENNS books, AND more.com. And you can also go on your favorite podcast app and look up Jaws Coffee Chat, which is the name of our show and our channel for the Jaws Coffee Chat and Jen's Books and More team. And that's spelled JAWS Coffee Chat. And that's the name of our channel on various podcast apps like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and in addition to YouTube and social medias and among others. But that's where you can find us. And if you want to be on the Jaws Coffee Chat podcast, you can schedule with us by going to Calendly, CALENDLY.com/Jaws Coffee Chat, JAWS Coffee Chat. Back to you, Emily.
So most of our shows are weekly, like the exception of like two. This one and one other one, which are either every 3 Wednesdays or another one that's once a month. So anyway, just in case anybody was wondering. And to thank everybody for tuning in today. Was it just me, or were you gonna say something, Jeff? And so it seemed like you might have. Maybe that was just me.
I was just applauding you.
Oh, okay. I meant,
Clapping for you.
So I guess there isn't anything else that leaders like to be said at the moment.
Not unless you have more to add to the topic I started us going on, or you want to share any kind of news related to what you and Kurt are up to.
Well, okay, so one other thing I just thought of. Those of you who are involved with a nonprofit, or if there are any nonprofits you follow or anything like that, and would like to create between a 30-second and 2.5-minute video about your involvement or what the nonprofit does, have anything about it. You can connect with me about that, or send me the video, because we have connected with a nonprofit TV network out of Texas. And so once I would get those videos from somebody, I'd put it on the nonprofit TV network Facebook page, which they're all about promoting all of the great nonprofits that are out there doing great work and so on. So connect with me if you are interested in any of that. Also,
Quick question, Emily. This TV company out of Texas, what kind of people would be interested in it, like actors or script writers, or what kind of people are they considering working with?
Um. Not sure if I have a good answer for that other one. I don't know if Garrett is on here, can say anything about that, but all I know is that they're all about promoting nonprofits. So I'm not sure if that they're actually looking to,
So their target market are nonprofits then?
yes,
Okay, so we want predominantly nonprofits to work with this particular TV company, and where should people contact you if they're interested, or contact him or whoever?
uh, they can connect with me. At least in terms of, the video part of it, or I guess any other questions. Otherwise, they have a Facebook page, which is the nonprofit TV network. On Facebook, if anybody wants to check out their Facebook page. And that kind of thing. But the other thing I was going to bring up was that we are working with and helping plan a Afro Film Festival that is going to be held in October in Atlanta, Georgia, October 12th to 14th. And at the Auburn Research Library. And we are looking to have a couple of thousand people attend between online and in person. So if anyone is interested, either you are in the Atlanta area, or if you're looking to maybe take a trip to Atlanta, or like I said, do it online, attend in any sort of fashion. Can connect with us. There is a website called One Film One Summit Market.org. For anyone to check out as well. And it's helping bring like the stories out of Africa. Jasper Johnson is the founder and CEO who runs this whole project. So anyway, a couple other sort of announcements that I had to say for the moment. So if anybody is interested to connect with me. So our next, let's see. Our next compassionate citizenship, I believe, is on August 9th, which is in a few weeks. So if you were able to tune in, we'd love to see you all tune in. And any last thoughts, Jen, on anything?
I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode of Compassionate Citizen. on today, July 19th, 2023. We apologize for the late start. However, we thank you for sharing or watching this live or at any point in time later after we put it online. Please know we generally start at 3 o'clock in Central Time, 3 p.m. And that's our target every 3 Wednesdays. But we apologize once again for having a late start and hope everybody enjoys this show. And have a productive week.
So that's it. Everybody has a safe and productive week and to stay happy.